But let's look at it another way. What would happen if, and you may not, I don't know whether to use this as an example. Yeah, I'll use it as an example. What would happen if the terms of the deal were changed? And if by the end of the month, and now you've only got a week to run, they were going to repossess your house, your car and your wife. I know you may want to get rid of some of those. But I think you know what I'm saying. If it were mandatory, if you hadn't hit your goal by the end of the month, and you've only got a week to go, and all that was going to be repossessed and you'd be left with absolutely nothing, you'd go out there and do it. You'd find some distributors, you'd retail some products. You see, the terms have changed now. It's no longer the soft option. You're being made to do it. Damn it all, your boss makes you get up at some unearthly hour and go to work, doesn't he? He doesn't deliberately make you do it, but by innuendo he does, because if you don't do it and don't get to work, you get the sack. People force you to do things in life. This is the real reason I wanted to build this business. I was getting sick and tired of being controlled by other people. Do this, get up here. I had to do this, I had to do that, because other people were making me do it. And it would be great sometimes if your upline could make you do it, could hold some threat over your head. You'd do it then if the threat was big enough. Why don't you put the threat in there yourself? 1 week to go. 1 week to go. There is no reason why anybody can't achieve the goal that they were set at the beginning of the month, with 1 week to go, if the reason for achieving it is big enough. You see, sometimes your upline will talk with you about goals, and don't forget, you set the time frame, you tell your upline what you want to achieve from the business, you give your upline your dreams and whatever your hot button is. And your upline will help you and guide you and steer you, and then you go away and you don't follow through. In one way, that is almost sending a signal to your upline, look, I don't believe what you're saying, I'm going to fake you out. But you've got to understand that I would guess every single one of you in this room today doesn't realise is that your upline has probably got more faith and belief in you than you have in yourself. They've got more faith and belief in you than you have in yourself. And it's that faith and belief in you, because they want you to succeed, that forces them to help you. And I think sometimes we lose sight of that. We lose sight of the fact that there are people in this business to help us, to cheer us on and to motivate us and to guide us and to steer us. Roger Bannister didn't have people like that. He didn't have people like that. Edison didn't have people like that. Walt Disney didn't have people like that. But you have. I think it's something we need to appreciate. So, to achieve goals, we have to take a series of small steps. Now, when we first got in the business, we didn't really have any of this. We didn't have a system as we do today. And the only thing that we had, and one of the reasons we went direct real quick, was because the person that helped us get started in the business, when I asked him, well, how do I get to the 21% level? He said, well, I don't know. He said, but here's a date book, as it was called in those days, which was a diary, and it had a chart on the front. And it said, in the first month, you sponsor 4 people, and I can't remember exactly what it was. I think you hit the 6% level, and then the next month you sponsor 2 more and do some other things. And we followed that chart, just as we followed the map to get here today. And we did that blindly on faith. But now we've got a system, now we've got an upline, and we've got, a time frame that we can choose ourselves, but our upline and the system will help us achieve that. But how do you choose exactly what level of success you want? How do you choose what sort of time frame? What examples do you use? Well, today it's easy because you can use other people in the business. You can know that you've all heard of some people that will go direct in 6 months. Why is that? Would you want to set that as a time frame? Or would you want to back off that sort of challenge? But it has been achieved and will continue to be achieved. Now, why is it that some people will achieve success in 6 months and perhaps some people will take 6 years or 16 years? It's really down to the needs of the individual. The needs of the individual, because the people that achieve success quickly have a burning desire to do it. They have real strong needs. And really, again, it's down to us as individuals to determine what our needs are. Maybe some of us just want no hassle needs. Let's coast along comfortably. Let's get along there without any pressures. I don't want our upline to know about these things. I don't want to be put under pressure. I don't want to be challenged. But you see, those needs become a burning desire. When you start to compete with the voice inside you. Because as I said before, you can fake other people out, but you can't fake yourself out. And that burning desire for us came in lots of ways. It started off with the suit because that was an obtainable goal. But in achieving that obtainable goal, it helped me certainly to clarify my thinking towards bigger goals. And it's as Kennedy said, why not? Why not? Why not? Because your dreams are never going to be big enough for this business. I'll tell you that now. This business will defy anyone in this room and their dreams. This business will defy those. It is impossible to dream big enough. Impossible. So it's worth that personal challenge. But other things will motivate you as well. Negative things will motivate you. I got real mad when people said no. I used to drive along the motorway and I think, one day I'm going to show those people. I used to work for a company called Greta. I had a lot of problems with them, particularly when they found out I was developing this business. And I used to think to myself, one day we're going to be successful in this business. One day I'm going to get a big car, maybe like a Daimler or something like that. And one day I'm going to drive in here and you're going to know I'm here because I'm going to park on double yellow lines. And I'm going to go in there and I'm going to, order some things and let people generally know. But you see, the main point of all that was the motivation for me, or one of my motivations. It was the people that said no that motivated me. Now, when you get nearer the time, when you get nearer to that success, two things are going to happen. The first thing is you don't really feel the need to show off quite so much. And the second thing, and this is one of the reasons that I didn't do it in the end, all the people that were there and gave me hassle eventually either died or got the sack. None of them there anymore, so I can't show off to anybody. But you see, the challenge, again, that was another motivation. So it's a question of getting mad now or getting even. Get mad and get even. What else can motivate you? Well, it's sometimes difficult to find that hot button, I know. And we used to be told, and you still hear it today, people say, well, get pictures, cut the pictures out, stick them up. I wasn't going to subscribe to that at all. Didn't believe that at all. But one day I came across an old calendar and it had a picture of a mill house on it, water and stuff like that. And after all these years, I suddenly looked at this picture and I thought, God, that's nice. I'd like that. Like something like that. Water. Anyway, I cut it out and put it by my desk, and, this was long, long, long ago. And it was there, it got yellow and, dusty and dirty, and it moved around from one house to another with us and stuff like that. And, it was in the days when we still weren't making much money. And it almost got pushed to the back, but it was there, it was constantly there. And, of course, the power of that sort of thing, it does imprint it on your mind. And although I never ever talked about it or anything like that, one day I just sort of opened the paper, and by this time we were sort of considering making a major move. We talked with Bill O'Brien, and Bill O'Brien said, right, things are right now, the money's right and everything else, you can make that major move. And I opened the paper, I don't know why it was, on that particular page, and there was a property almost virtually the same as that one in that magazine, or in the calendar. And I was amazed about this. So anyway, I decided I'd go off and go and have a look at this place, and mentioned it to Greta, and we went down and looked at it, and it's a beaten down place, the plaster was hanging off, Greta refused to go in, she was still bolshy even in those days. Anyway, we went in and had a look and walked out in the fields and the river and so forth, and just gradually talking her through it, she could see things as they could be, not as they were then. But the power of all that, it still, amazes me even today that we actually, that came from a seed that was planted by a picture that, in a way, caused that little flutter of excitement when I saw it initially, many, many years previously. But something had happened inside. And I think one other thing, if you struggle with goals and struggle with dreams and hot buttons and excitement and all that sort of stuff, it will come if you open your mind enough. If you open your mind enough and keep doing the things that you need to do to build this business. Because gradually your dreams will grow. gradually your belief in yourself and belief in the business will grow. And so pictures like that, things like that, negative motivation and excitement from what you read or what you hear on a tape are all little parts of the whole puzzle. But your major goal must still to be and have that burning desire to move on in this business, to hit a goal and to move on. Not only for yourself, but in order to achieve that first commitment, and that is to help other people as well. Because other people will see that happening for you. They won't necessarily see the material things. You haven't got to go out and buy a new car or anything like that. But they know. Your downline know how committed you are to the business. They know how much belief is in your voice. They know if you've got a bad day or had a bad day. They know if you're miserable. They know if you're upset. They sense these things. And one little tip to all of you, when you have downline, bear in mind your downline watches you just the same as all of you watch your upline. Think about it. All of you watch your upline. All of you get the news lines each month. Who's moved on? Who's doing this? Who's doing that? But your downline are watching you. Very, very important to remember that. So you need to set the example. And remember, 10 years ago, like Bannister and Edison and Disney, we were all hearing the same things. Business won't work. Stupid, this vision of the business working in the UK. Like Churchill and Washington, people were saying to other people who were building this business, they're not educated. They're not business people. They will never do it. People have said that about me. They said about Jerry. They said about your leaders, and they're saying it about you. Of course they'll say those things. You see, it's down to us to prove them wrong, all of us to prove them wrong. But as each month passes, as more success crosses stage, there's more appearances in the newsline of new levels, and as the business gains more credibility through the media, through opinion formers, all those things going on, that lie that the business won't work is being put to bed. It's been put to bed. It won't lie down and die, of course it won't. Because some people still question whether the world is round, the argumentative sort. They'll still question things like that. So you'll never actually put it to bed. But each month that's going on now, the business, particularly in this country, is gaining more credibility. You want to move on with that credibility as well. Because you, all of you, the same as all of us in the business, are examples and leadership for the business for the future. There'll always be people who will doubt. And sadly, there'll always be people who will be jealous of other people succeeding. Sadly, there will always be people who don't want you to succeed. They don't want you to overtake them in the game of life. Now, they don't want to see you. As soon as you stick your head above the crowd and indicate that you want to live in a better house, and your next door neighbour is going to really start to want to pull you down a lot of the time. Or maybe it's a member of family. Maybe it's a member of family, maybe it's a friend or colleague at work or whatever else. There will always be people about like that. Sadly, they will, as Greta said, steal the dreams, influence people, and keep people down at a suppressed level in life, destined for a life of mediocrity. But you see, there are certain people around who will say, why not? Why can't we move on? Why can't we move this business on? Why can't we have our dreams? Why can't we dare to dream big? Why can't we dare to dream of a very nice house? Why can't we dare to dream of paying off our mortgage and having no debts? Why can't we dream of being able to achieve that in 5 years? Other people are doing it. Why not you? Is it because you feel unworthy? Or is it because you're frightened of what someone might say? I don't know. We're all human. We all have different feelings, different thought processes and so forth. But somewhere along the line, we've got to start to prove people wrong. Prove them wrong for the sake of our own pride. Prove them wrong for the future. Prove them wrong for our family. Your ability through this business to improve other people's lives, but also because this business is destined to become an even bigger business, is going to mean that this business is going to be a phenomenon within the next 5 years. We have really only just scratched the scratch on the surface of what this business can do. We looked at a lot of figures over the weekend with Amway and so forth, the other marketplaces, the size of the business in Australia and America, and new marketplaces that have been opened up, Czechoslovakia and places like that. And it is getting a really big international business. And I think the danger sometimes, we'll think of our business as a localised business, we'll maybe think of it as a localised East Anglian business or whatever else. And really we shouldn't be thinking like this. We've all got our hands on a very, very large international business. We've got our hands on a very large international business. We've got our hands on a multi-income business. And we've got our hands on a business that's going to create millions and millions of pounds worth of turnover for each of you in this room in years to come. You can be like the Kennedys and say, why not? That's talking about faith. Why can't we have that? Why can't you achieve that? But some of you will choose not to take up the challenge and will say why. The people who say why not will say why not on faith. The people that will say why will say it in disbelief. You see, some of you were at Dream Weekend a month ago now, and you know there were 4 Dream Weekends and so forth. What's it going to be like in a few years' time? I'll tell you this now. Within the next 2 or 3 years, there's going to be Dream Weekends abroad. It's not going to be 4 Dream Weekends. There's going to be Dream Weekends abroad. And some of those people there will be your people. You see, this is an international business. You can't control where your business is going to go to. Once you've made that decision to move it on, and it gains momentum, you won't even know the names of the directs that you're going to have in your business, or the diamonds or the pearls. You won't remember their names. It's going to be that big for you. And in years to come, maybe only 12 months, 2 years' time, there's going to be Dream Weekends abroad, family reunions abroad. And you'll be talking about your distributors over in other countries and a system through the organisation that's supporting them and help your business move on. There's going to be multi-arena Dream Weekends and family reunions. And your business may be small now. But in a few short years, it will become that international business. You see, we're so well placed in the UK, if you think about it, because we've got the continent in front of us. We've got Europe in front of us. We're close to Europe. And the way Amway are planning things now, it's going to be real easy to move into the European marketplace within a relatively short period of time. You can't stop it, unless, of course, you choose to do nothing. Unless, of course, you choose not to speak to the voice inside of you. Unless, of course, you choose to try and kid yourself as well as other people as well. You see, in a few short years, the product and service line is going to be beyond recognition. We're going to move into computer ordering, video shopping, and all sorts of other things like that. I don't know when that's going to be, but it's planned and it's going to happen. By the year 2000, this business is going to be the talk of the free world. And this business will break down the barriers for society who aren't currently in the free world. This business is making the world a better place, and Greta mentioned that earlier on. And it's creating wealth, and wealth creates jobs. Jobs create security for the people that want jobs, and it also creates peace of mind. Make a decision to be part of that process, to contribute to life, because it's dependent on all of us to do that. Make that in itself a burning goal, to be able to create futures for other people and help a better world move on. Make that a burning desire. Be active in the game of life. Be someone going somewhere. There's nothing more rewarding than to be someone going somewhere, encouraging others to do the same. Or, if you choose, you can be a spectator in life. You can be a spectator in the game of life, seeing everything go by, and then asking the question, why? Do you want to be a why, or do you want to be a why not? I think the answer is pretty obvious. We've enjoyed talking with you, and we'll see you again soon.